abhi, especially when we are young, our floppy is empty. There is no crap in there,
So true. This is the time
So
to fill it
fill in that with the right data.
Yes.
And that data is not going to be all the PSP and iPad games. It needs to be the real world. See, बच्चों के साथ का जो direct connection है, वो connection के साथ जो एक understanding आती है, then slowly, if you create that connection, maybe you don't have to even tell them. They will understand it without even telling. Exactly. A parent who is 30 plus is asking someone who is 4 or 5, so what do you want to do? Do you like this? Who is the parent?
Wow.
I asked that question. I mean, can't you decide that for that little baby, that what is right and good for her, and expecting her to take the decision of that little baby for her life and expecting her to have her own opinion? First, let her have the knowledge to form that opinion.
So true, so true.
I mean, yes, we want to give importance to what children feel.
Correct.
But there is difference between their emotional feelings and the decisions what they need to do in their life.
I don't feel that is right either.
Yeah.
And another thing I observe is, Archana, that these parents sometimes are thinking that let me take them to all the classes and let them figure it out. And I think that is also not important. Right?
If mommy had seen her baby grow, actually, then mommy would know that where my baby is naturally inclined towards.
So true.
I mean, so far as the art forms are concerned, yes, I would say, introduce the child to maybe drawing, singing, dancing, or music, or different, out of whichever, I mean, initially you may introduce the child to different activities, but eventually you have to withdraw and zero down on a particular activity towards which that child is really good at.
So true.
Keeping the child busy for 7 days, 7 activities, you're achieving nothing. Because
so just being very ambitious.
No, that is not being ambitious. That's downright stupid. Sorry for my word. But whatever that child is learning, uski practice ke liye bhi to kuch time chahiye na. Okay, let me talk about myself as a mommy.
Yes.
I introduced my son to classical vocal. I introduced him to dance. He did learn dance, right up to diploma and beyond.
He did that?
Oh yeah. He has performed on the stage also.
Wow.
Some of the most complicated rhythmic designs.
So again, he has it in his genes.
Yeah. And I introduced him to tabla. Now, when he was 1.5 years old, that typical those mechanos and block building, that he would make a big tower, when he was barely 18 months or barely up to 2. And then I could see that he was getting bored. I mean, so as a mom, you have to observe your child. So by the age 2, I could see my child getting bored with those mechanos building and all that, or even introducing him to mathematics. I was obviously, mommy is always the first school for all the children.
Correct.
So I did introduce him to that. How would I introduce him to the 10 numbers? So I had taken 10 katoris, 10 bowls, okay, and cashews, raisins. So 1 cashew in 1 katori, 2 cashews in 2 katori, 3 cashews in 3 katori. So physically counting the object, 1, and then 1 and 2.
Correct.
Okay, or isme ka 1 idhar gaya to 1, 2 and 3.
So you did all that.
So that's how math was introduced to him.
Wow.
And
you
then
took the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, thankfully, because even my classes were on a smaller scale, it just grew perfectly. It was a very conscious decision to be a homemaker, to be a mommy.
Yes.
I mean, I always say that our children are there like your satellite.
Wow.
And at the same time, I also feel that it is something so precious, motherhood, that you should understand how precious it is, And दुनिया में वो एक छोटा नन्हा सा बच्चा, that नन्ही सी जान, which is very much formed out of your body, it is completely depending on you. Completely. Husband is not dependent on you. He can take care of himself.
Yes.
But if you neglect that baby, his whole world is going to go topsy-turvy.
So true.
So अभी उसको नहीं दोगे, टाइम तो कब दोगे? And then बड़े होने के बाद कहना कि बच्चे हमें पूछते नहीं, आपने कब पूछा जब वो छोटा था? You end up paying the amount for the daycare, babysitters.
Very true.
if you do it at home, think that you did a job and you earned that money.
You're actually
at the same time, you're getting so much mileage of taking care of your child.
Yes.
As I was saying that when by the age of 2, I saw my son, kind of getting bored with the mechanos, I introduced him to the Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
At the age of 2.
My God.
And within few months, he had solved 5 colors out of it. And he was, this is what started. So then slowly I introduced him to chess. And at the age of 5, he was playing chess. And then he was after me that when he found out that in his school they have a chess club, after school program, and there was some chess teacher who would come and teach them for an hour or couple of hours chess club, and he was like, Mommy, I want to go to the chess club and all that. Chess. I mean, we all could play the chess, but then he being so young, only exactly 5-year-old, so if he would lose his queen, then he was so we used to take it easy, not to kill his queen and all that. And he has played with my mom, with my brother, everybody. And then when I took him to the school, I mean, at that time he was a KG student, and he had been in that school since age 3 group. So age 3 group, then pre-K, and then KG. So that was his 3rd year in the school. And when I enrolled him for the chess club, their chess teacher, she was a Brazilian champion. And she was the one who was conducting those chess clubs. And she said that, does he know the names of the different pawns? And I said, no, he plays chess. So she thought, like, when a 5-year-old is getting enrolled in the chess club, so she will have to questions. So I said, no, he plays chess. So she wasn't convinced. So she said, does he know how each pawn moves? Like a pawn moves this way, camel goes this way, that is bishop. And in English language, they call it bishop goes this way, or the elephant goes this way, And I said, yeah, he knows all the moves. And so when I kept on saying, he plays chess. So finally she says, does he know the concept of checkmate? I said, yeah, he knows the concept of checkmate.
Okay.
He knows the game. So she said, okay. And that was like a lower school only. It was a private school, and up to the 4th grade. And that school used to regularly enter into the rated tournaments. So their players used to go in the inter-school tournaments and all that. And in that club, the best player of the school, who was a 4th grader, 4th grader, or he was a 2nd or 3rd grader at that time, but he was the best player of the school, who was sitting right there.
Wow.
So when I kept saying that, no, he knows the game, he knows the game. So she said, okay. So then she made him sit with him, so let's see how this boy moves now.
Okay.
And my son made him a checkmate. She was like, who is in my club?
Wow.
That's what I mean by, as a parent, what you can do for your child.
Exactly.
See, we send our children by school bus to the school. To date, my son has never stepped in a school bus. From the day he has gone to any school and every school, I mean, up to the 2nd grade, he was in that school, and after that, he has been attending another private school, Rutgers Prep. Every single day, I have driven him to the school. He's 11th grader now, he's a junior. But he has never stepped in a school bus. Travel time is the most precious time, because that is the time when you have uninterrupted attention of your child to you. That little cubic area of the car, all the sounds off.
Correct.
It's only you and your child. And that's why I feel that I have taught so many things to my son in the travel time all these years. I mean, all the tables of math were done in the travel time, so he already knew math tables by then. So many English poems, so many Marathi poems, so many Ganpati ki aarti, sukha karta, dukha karta. I mean, he's clearly showing the bloodline, has brilliant control over the lay, tal, plays with any tal like this, plays tabla very well. So even as a tabla player, when he's accompanying my students, whatever new compositions I've created for my students, my time to interact with him is in the car. And I'm like, Dhruv, come on, pick it up. This is the, and he is gone.
And also people should know, Archana, that it's not as if you were having the luxury at that time, because you're in your prime time of what you were doing.
Yes.
And to be able to put that aside, usually in this field, it's not easy to
I was at the peak of my career.
Right? I mean, you know, catching up with the gap is never the right thing to do for an artist.
Yeah.
Right?
I would have said I miss this if I wouldn't have been there for my child.
So true, so true. You know why I'm saying this, Archana? Because I don't want anybody to think there that you could afford it. Yeah. It's not as if you could afford it either.
It's unconditionally. You know, he knows that. I mean, I remember once he made a statement, actually very recently, that he said, even if I fall from the sky, I know my mom and dad are there to catch me. What confidence. I felt very nice.